Hi, welcome back. So today I'll be sharing with you a few really lovely natural phrases that you can use when you're a guest at somebody's house. Are you ready? Let's get started. Now, the first thing to note is if you've been invited to somebody's house for afternoon tea or for dinner, it's customary to take a gift. So for afternoon tea, that might be something like a box of biscuits, nice biscuits to go with the tea, or perhaps some flowers. And if it's dinner, it might be again flowers, possibly chocolates, or a bottle of wine. Then when you arrive at your host's house, you can say, "These are for you," as you hand them their gift. These are for you. And that's a nice way to start the afternoon or the evening. Then your host will invite you in, presumably, and as you look around, you can say something like, "Oh, your house is lovely. Have you lived here long?" Your house is lovely. Have you lived here long? Now that does two things actually. First of all, you're giving your host a compliment, which sets a nice tone. But secondly, you're inviting small talk. It's a great small talk starter, "Have you lived here long?" It just breaks the ice, as we say, and it can lead to a conversation. So make sure you remember that phrase because it's going to be a great one for you to use. Later, when your host brings out the lunch or the dinner, you can say something like, "Oh, that looks delicious," or "That smells delicious." Okay, so that looks delicious or that smells delicious. And of course, you could substitute delicious for another adjective. It could be amazing, incredible, wonderful, anything you like. But again, it's a great way to compliment your host. While you're eating, you can obviously make a bit of small talk again, but you could also give another compliment, which would be, "This is so tasty, how did you cook it?" This is so tasty, how did you cook it? So if your host has cooked you an amazing meal, that's how you can compliment them, but again, it also leads to another conversation because they can tell you all about the recipe and how they made it. Now, towards the end of the meal, your host might say, "Would you like any more?" or "Would you like some more potatoes?" Something like that, offering you more food. And if you don't want any more, you can simply say, "No thanks, I'm full." "No thanks, I'm full, but it was delicious." It's really important to add that ending on so they know that you're not saying that you're full because actually you didn't enjoy it. "No thanks, I'm full, but it was delicious." Now, of course, at some point during the course of the afternoon or evening, you might want to use the toilet. So you can simply say, "Do you mind if I use your loo?" Okay, so loo is just a colloquial way to say toilet. "Do you mind?" Listen to how that links together. "Do you mind? Do you mind if I use your loo?" Okay, so another really helpful expression, make sure you write that one down. And finally, as you're leaving the house for the evening, you can say, "Thank you for a lovely evening. You'll have to come to me next time." So you're thanking your host and you're also inviting them to come and eat at your house next time in the future. Okay, so "Thank you for a lovely evening. You'll have to come to me next time." Well, I hope you get invited for dinner at a house in the UK very soon and you're able to use some of these phrases. If you would like a recap of any of those phrases, they're all on my website, so you can find them directly below this video. Thank you so much for joining me for this lesson. It's really a pleasure to teach you, and make sure that you check out some of the other videos and that you're subscribed to this channel. See you in the next lesson.